Hello, U.S. History 101 class. Welcome to week one. I am opening up the class early today, so do not worry. I've already mentioned that I have I had an early announcement with some information that was just there to be helpful. This will count as the week one announcement. If you wait till Monday to watch this, or if you're watching this on a Monday, that's okay. But we are having more storms coming in. If you followed my last announcement, I mentioned that I live in Santa Cruz, and we've been hit pretty hard. There's been power outage issues in the area. We had our power out on New Year's for a good chunk of it. Excuse me. But not the last major storm, but I don't know. So I think all of you are watching the news and have friends and family in the area and know that everything is a little bit up in the air as to what to expect moving forward with the weather conditions. And so I just wanted to make sure that I had this class open and ready for all of you, in case my power goes out. Okay, so the week one's class is open. You do not need to start it right now, but it's there. It's there. And I have, with this video underneath, I have examples of what video notes and the papers should look like. I mentioned very important things stating what will give you zeros on papers. So I do not grade that hard on papers. Some of you are going to be intimidated by seeing, that we have to write papers every week. These are really just, I'm looking for you to synthesize information we already covered. And so when I say you cannot use outside sources, when I say that there must be citations and that there must be dates, I mean those things, okay? So I will not grade hard if you answer the question and you follow those rules. You use the sources that we've covered and you cite the way in which I mentioned. And you do not have to have a bibliography at the end of your paper as well, okay? You don't have to use a specific style like MLA or Chicago style, which if you're a history major, just know that citation methods would be using the Chicago method, Chicago style, which most of you are not even that familiar with if you're in a community college. Okay, so this also reminds me right here to say that if you are a history major and you're interested in, delving into grad school or just any kind of, if you're a history major and you want to do a career that's involved with history, contact me at some point of this semester so I can tell you what to expect, give you some advice that I needed to follow going forward as I was going to grad school, and maybe just help you out on the way that you work with your career choice. So I'm not going to try to talk you out of it by any means. Of course, this is what I'm doing. But I do think that you need a realistic set of information for it, and I'm glad to help you do it. And I will not be doom and gloom, but I will give you the reality of things that are challenging in this field, and that could help you better if you still want to pursue it. So then what else I want to mention is I want to remind all of you that this week we're starting off nicely, meaning just one normal work week load, like as if you had a normal semester. But this is a 10-week class. So we will be doing the same amount of work next week, twice as much as what you're doing this week. So please get familiar with this routine. Look at how this module works this week and see how you can streamline getting your work done quicker than usual, or planning things out for it. I want to remind you, I don't use the calendar. That means look at where it says weekly work objectives. So you're going to have some work done on Thursday and some Sunday this week. But next week, and this is going to be the way it is up until the end of the semester when I can cut back on some of those double workload weeks. The first section of work will all be due on Thursday, and the second section of work will all be due on Sunday. That's exactly how it's going to work the whole semester until the end, and it'll get easier. I do want to let you know that when I can, I will remove some workloads, or I will provide extra credit, turn it into extra credit. So sometimes I will change things. If I change them, you will be getting less work. I will not be surprising you with more work, okay? That's the other thing that I wanted to make clear. In terms of how late work works, I just want to let all of you know, you have to communicate with me. I will not accept late work if it's 8 hours after the work is due. You have to contact me, and if I give you permission, then you get to do your work. And usually I'll just give full credit. If you turn in work that's late, over 8 hours late, and did not ask me, I automatically do not give you credit for it. We will not have a discussion about it, because I don't. I was often people would take advantage of my leniency, and I would get people dumping tons of work on me, expecting that I would do this. No, this is not how this works. Okay, I am very understanding when it comes to issues, but you do have to go out of your way and contact me. I had a student last semester that after I graded, they contacted me and mentioned that they had COVID and all these other problems, and they wanted to work out something with their grade. Look, I will always give you the benefit of the doubt. I will never question whatever your story is, but you do have to communicate with me, and we have to have a realistic time frame to work with. So the bottom line is, communicating with me is the most important thing for you to do, especially if you're struggling. If you are struggling and you're communicating, we can work out things. For the most part, that's always ends in a positive result. But I can't help you if you're not communicating, and if I don't see work coming in, that's all I know of you, right? You understand? So, okay, so that's all I want to mention there. And then I want to mention also just some of my reading sections. You're going to see that I put something on Korea later on. This week we're going to talk about Ireland and Native Americans. This seems a little bit maybe more sensical in context for you, but the bottom line is, I am going to always add an element of international history into the U.S. history modules, because what I noticed is that for a lot of students that are learning U.S. history, and a lot of Americans in general from the United States, look at U.S. history inside of a bubble. And this, I think, leads to a lot of the problems, the way in which some people look at things from the political left and the right. They kind of take the discussion of American history, and they give it no context out into the outside world. And so we kind of have a delusional, almost a kind of a narcissistic understanding about what our history means in relationship to the rest of the world. And I don't want us to do that. And so I think that what you're going to see is, I'm going to show that, okay, so when we're talking about U.S. history at the time periods that we're covering, what else was going on in the world while this was happening with us? And how, and at times when I can, I will show how our history is interrelating with international history as well. So I hope you find that to be interesting and insightful. If you have not watched my first video, please go back and watch it. I do kind of go over certain aspects of this class that I want you to be aware of. So when it comes to the discussions, right, and the content of the material, I talk about that in the last video. Now, I realized that the volume was kind of low. I'm trying to talk a little bit louder in this one. If you're having a hard time being able to understand what I'm saying or hearing any of the announcements, please let me know. You have to watch all of my announcement videos. And I'm going to try to not make them this long. I'm going to try to keep them shorter. But ultimately, my announcements are ways to communicate things that I think are important, directly related to this class. I try to anticipate questions you're going to have, or I'm going to look at problems, let's say maybe that I'm coming up against in grading, and know that maybe a lot of students are having a struggle with a particular aspect of the assignment, and then I can address it in the announcements. So I will be slightly bothered if you're coming at me asking me lots of questions a few days after the announcement was made and you tell me that you have not watched my announcements. Okay, always try to watch my announcements first, look at the assignments, and then if you have a problem, you let me know that after you've watched my announcements and you've looked at the work, you're still confused about something or there's something else you need to go over. That's fine. Okay, so yeah, so as of now, that's all I have to say. I'm excited for us to start the semester. I'm hoping that the weather is a little merciful on all of us. I know that all of California, no matter where we're at, is getting hit with quite a bit of intense weather. It's nice to get rid of a drought, but man, whew, I mean, like this, it's a little bit rough. So I am aware, again, that we're going to have some power outage issues and all that kind of stuff. So we'll be in touch with each other, and I hope you all had a good, happy, safe New Year. And I will be available for you as you reach out to me moving forward in the semester. So good luck, everybody, and welcome